Hello and welcome back to Civilization. You'll notice that it's about 50 years after my last video. I'm going to post a link in the video posted on YouTube to the in-between video. I'm not posting it on YouTube because basically all I did was build lots of railroads and have the Mongols land on my land again. Um, so not being a very um, eventful date in my civilization history. I just kind of said, well, I'll just post that off YouTube. And if you're interested in seeing why I'm going to build railroads the way that I am, I went into detail about how to best build your railroads. You can go to that link and see that. For now, I'm going to try to get rid of these Mongols and make sure they don't bring me harm. I think it's a good idea to save just in case they take Charlottetown. Um, I mean, I guess I could load it and make sure they don't do that. Although I just kind of finished that. Alright, I have an upset guy. What if I put it out there? Am I still going to be upset? Yeah, I'm still going to be upset. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Knight. You did what you needed to do. Keep moving. What's London making? Library. I could have them make a frigate. I'm not going to. The technology we're looking at is industrialization, and I think industrialization has you create transports, and I like transports because I like transports because they aren't considered a military weapon. If he builds that city, it's going to annoy me, and the only reason would be to annoy me. So he's going to do it, and what that will do is it will take this spot and also delete the irrigation and the railroad that I put underneath it. So a lot of time went into that spot, and I can easily conquer an empty city and steal some money, but it would just be annoying. I think that's what he's going to do. The smarter thing for him to do would be to just get back on the ship and go back to where he came from. But I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to build that city right there, just to annoy me, because it would serve no advantage whatsoever to do that. So, like I said, I could build a frigate, but I think I'm just going to wait to do the advance to transports. I just have to remember London I can turn to a transport. And if I forget, I'll just build another caravan. That's not a big deal. Hello, Alex. What do you want? He wants more money, I bet. Nope. Excellent. So now I have every reason to go against him. I'm going to try to take that city too. So that turned out to be, I don't know why he wanted to do that. I haven't built Vancouver yet, and Vancouver should be in a great spot. It also should be relatively in a spot that could get cold, and there's no forest, and there's no tundra. But I haven't built Vancouver yet, so there you are, Pacific Coasters. I know you were all yelling at me that I have this East Coast bias. I'm on the East Coast in the United States. And you're right that I know more about the East Coast cities of Canada. That is true. I want to see if I can find that sail as it comes back to drop or pick up some guys. Because remember, there's a sail that came here, and I think he would have gone this way and then down. But that also opens up my island a little bit. With Summerside making a granary. Yeah, I'll do this food storage, and then I'll put it into the forest to get more production next turn. So the short and sweet way of me talking about railroads is you might want to say, well, why don't you just go through the city, then around the city? And the answer is because if you notice, if I go around the city, I'm not using up any movements. But if I go through the city, I might as well do that now, I used a third of a movement. And that's why you kind of want to go around the city instead of through them. I also wanted to build a railroad there, so it kind of worked out to my advantage. I'm making some pretty decent, I think I might be losing a couple dollars a turn because I dropped the tax rate. Ah, he didn't. What a nice guy. Yeah, I'm losing a little bit more than just a few dollars, so I'll go back to 30% tax. More railroads, please. I didn't attack him because I didn't feel like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, go through the forest, and then continue on, rather than go right into the city, because I want to. And that way, going around the city will not take up a movement. I talked about that in detail in the link that will be provided for the other video. Will I be able to get there in one turn? I think I will not be able to get there in one turn. Niagara Falls. Let's see. Settlers. I need to make some more railroads. There we go. I think I get a transport. Do I get I do. And the women's suffrage wonder is massively important if you're running as a republic or a democracy. So I think that'll be the next. I'm way out ahead of them in tech, so I don't have to speed run and yes, and do it right now. London, you are going to build a transport. Same amount of time. Yeah. For those of you wondering, that is London, Ontario, not London, UK. Again, my West Coasters are saying, you built London, Ontario. Ah, he did it again. He already, yep, see, I told you he was going to do it. Although that, I'm not as upset that he did it there. Can I actually invade with a settler? I can. Silly and dumb. Silly and dumb Mongols. I'm glad you didn't build your city on the part that you were, but all you did was delay the inevitable there. So just anyway. So again, you want to put your railroads there to go around the city and not through it. So I talked a little bit in the last video about simulation games being my favorite type of video game back when I was a kid. And then in college there was The Sims. Sims was fun. SimCity, I prefer the Super Nintendo version of SimCity to the computer version because I like the music. and Mr. Wright, I guess the guy's name. He was kind of fun. Um, oh, women's suffrage. That's what I wanted. Been to Toronto a number of times. Know that that is a progressive city that would want women's suffrage. Champion for all women. All right, let's see. I could get rid of the phalanx, and what that would do is it would free up a production. But I'll get bigger in probably a couple turns. So maybe I'll just move that here. Nope, I need this shield for production. Okay. Okay. Yep, I'll do that. Okay. And I'm not attacking because I want it to become a 2 and see if I could take the city instead of destroying it. I'm going to rename it. I don't think there's Argos, Canada as a major city. Ooh, that's a frigate. That's what I could have built for, but I didn't. Oh, it's not letting me. Although I attacked it with the other knight that came from Moncton instead of the one from wherever it's from. I wonder if there's something up here. There could be a city that's up here. Let me see. I find city. It's over here. I want to find Thebes, which is the Egyptian capital city. Not there. Although they correct it later on in other versions. Thebes is definitely not what the Egyptians would have called it. It was the Greek name for the city. They correct it in later versions of Civilization. They call it Luxor or Memphis. That's why the Luxor's hotel in Las Vegas is named that. It was one of the several capital cities of the Egyptians when they ruled the world. I mean, in the span of human history, right? We were talking about this in one of my earlier chapters when we were talking about how impressive it was that the pyramids were built in 2,500 and something. And it was absolutely settlers. Get out of here, Greeks. I'm going to keep him over here because I bet you the Greeks will be back. It was such an impressive accomplishment for the Egyptians to do what they did, but also let's just look at Egyptian history and say that's when they began, right? 25, although they were definitely a civilization before that. So let's say 2,800 years. That's when they started, 2,800 CE or BC. And, you know, within a few exceptions, the Egyptians are a major player in world history, especially the history of civilization, all the way through, you could say, the age of Alexander, when Alexander marches in there and liberates them from the Persian yoke. And then for another 200 or so years, there are the Ptolemaic dynasties and things like that. But let's just say from 2,800 to about 800 BC, the Egyptians basically run and maintained a fairly stable civilization. 2,000 years of history. So in 2,000 years of history, that would be all of Western history, quote unquote Western history, all of the Roman history and the Middle Ages and the Age of Exploration and the Renaissance and all of those things. And Egypt did it kind of by itself. Very impressive. I always liked to play as the Egyptians. Maybe I'll be them next. So I will talk to you the next time. If you're impressed with the Egyptians,